Yeah,
Next one
okay.
is, what are the topics we learned yesterday? Can anyone tell what the topics we discussed yesterday? Can anyone tell who listened the class? What are the concepts we learned in previous class?
Yeah, yesterday we have discussed the V and V model and agile model.
Okay. V and V model and Agile model. That's it. In Agile model, how many methods are there total?
5, sir.
5 methods. What are they?
Requirement analysis.
I'm asking methods,
No,
not
testing methods. Scrum, Crystal, Dynamic Software
From
Development Method, and yeah.
Yeah.
exactly those things only. Okay. Those are the topics we learned in the previous class. But today, what we are going to learn is these are the 6 topics we are going to learn in the today session. What is QA, QC, QE, and what is the difference between QA and QC? The interviewer won't ask these type of questions. First 2 questions. For your clarity, I am explaining. For example, um, if you want to apply for the jobs, you need to search, right? Manual testing, functional testing jobs, like that you are testing in Naukri or LinkedIn. But if you know in depth what is meant by QA and QC, QE, then you can search QA jobs, QC jobs, QE jobs. Okay. QA is nothing but the functional testing. If you want to be into the manual tester, then you can search the QA jobs as a keyword in your LinkedIn. Okay. If you want to apply for automation jobs, then you need to search QE engineer, is not quality engineer. If you want to be just verification, validation, all the documented related work, then you can apply for QC, quality control. Okay, if you know what it means, what is the difference, then only you are able to apply. That's why I prepared a notes and I prepared a content for those 2 things. Okay, but the interviewer, if you are applying for manual testing, they will ask uh, verification and validation, and what is the difference between black box testing and white box testing. In the static and dynamics testing, we are having set of testing types. Okay, so they will ask questions on it. This today topic is very very important at the time of interview level regarding the testing questions. Okay, and QA, QC, QE. What is QA? QA is nothing but a quality assurance. What is meant by assurance? Can anyone tell? What is meant by assurance in generic meaning? I don't want the exact meaning of this testing related answer. I just asking what is meant by assurance in generic.
We can give commitment to the customer that it is working good.
Okay. Okay. Good. Quality assurance is known as a QA and focuses on preventing defect. There is a slight difference between preventing defect and controlling defect. What is the difference between preventing and controlling? What is the difference between preventing and controlling the defect?
Preventing means avoiding the defect.
Okay.
Controlling means you can control that one, that defect within the range.
Preventing is nothing but before getting the defects, you are trying to resolve it. Preventing is nothing but it's a safety. Before getting the bugs, we are checking for it. To avoid the bugs, we are doing the testing. That is called quality assurance. Okay, this quality assurance is known as QA, focuses on preventing defect. Prevention is better than cure, right? Like that, if we are doing testing after getting the defects, then we are doing quality control because the defects are out. We need to control the defects. That is called quality control. If you are giving assurance that you didn't get any bug, you are giving assurance to the customer. is nothing but you are preventing, you are hiding. That is called quality assurance. Quality assurance ensures that the approaches, techniques, methods, and processes are designed for the projects are implemented correctly. Okay, quality assurance activities monitor and verify that the process used to manage, create the deliverables have been followed and are operated. That's what we discussed, right? And next one is what is quality control. Control is test or verify actual results by comparing it with the defined standards. Quality control is done once the defect is out. Quality assurance is doing before getting the defects. Okay, what is the difference between quality assurance and quality control? What is the difference between quality assurance and quality control? Shekhar?
Yeah. So quality assurance in the sense before getting into any defects, we supposed to make sure about the raising chances of defects in the developed code.
Okay.
So quality control in the sense, say for example, if we got any defect after developing the code, so in future we should not, I mean, the same defect cannot be raised, so that we have to follow the standards
Okay,
of
good.
coding. Yeah.
Okay, good. That is called quality assurance and quality control. Here, quality control is known as QC, focuses on identifying the defect. Mark this point. QC is focuses on identifying a defect. QC ensures that the approaches, techniques, methods, processes are designed in the project are following correctly. QC activities monitor and verify that the project deliverables meet the defined quality standards. Quality control is a reactive process and its detection is nature. It recognizes the defects and has to complete after quality assurance. Once the quality assurance is completed, if the bugs are out after giving the quality assurance, then only we are going to do the quality control. If the bugs are not there, then what is the use of doing quality control? Okay, simply what you need to remember is before getting the bugs in that application, we are giving quality assurance while delivering the product. Quality control is nothing but we are controlling the bugs once we got in that application. That is called quality control. Okay, and what is a difference in the QA and QC? QA is focusing on preventing defect, while QC is focusing on identifying defect. This is a major difference. Quality assurance is focusing on preventing defect, avoiding defects, hiding defects, while QC is focuses on identifying the defect. Total two jobs are vice versa, in opposite direction. Two jobs are okay. Quality engineer is nothing but one who automates the quality procedures to minimize the manual testing efforts. Quality engineer is also called as a automation engineer. Okay, the person who automates all the things which are doing by the manual tester, then we are calling it as a quality engineer. Okay, and next one is verification and validation. Verification process includes checking of documents, design, code, program. Verification checks whether a software conforms a specification. Are you guys understanding the point what I'm telling? Verification process includes checking of documents, design, code, and program. Verification checks whether the software conforms a specification. What it means? Software conforms a specification. What it means? All the requirements given by the customer is converted into the software requirement specification or not. That is called software conforms a specification meaning. And next one is validation. Validation is nothing but a process includes testing and validation of actual product. You are comparing your results with the actual results comparing with the expected results. Then we are calling it as a validation. Okay, validation checks whether the software meets the requirements and expectations while executing the code. Okay, and these are the some of the validation techniques: code review, code walkthrough, and inspection. These are the verification techniques, not validation techniques. Remember this point. What are the verification techniques? Three types of verification techniques are there: code review, code walkthrough, inspection. It's nothing but you have to review the code which is written by the developer, and it's not manual tester work. The QAs will do these things. Code review is nothing but you have to review the code. Sometimes it will be happen within the developers only. For example, A, B, C, three developers are there. B developer will review the code which is written by A developer. A developer will review the code which is written by C developer. C developer code will be reviewed by the B developer. Like that, within themselves they will review the code. Once the code is reviewed, we have to go through the code, what that has written, and later you have to inspect the code and we have to check in depth. These are the three verification techniques we are having in the verification concept. It's not our work, it will be happen within the developer, and the quality assurance and all those people will have a look on it. Okay, clear about till here? Verification and validation, have any doubt on it? We just seen what is the difference between verification and validation, and what is meant by QA, QC, QE. These are the two topics which we have seen till now. Any doubts on these topics?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. We are having two types of boxing techniques. Two types of testings. Yesterday I already discussed white box and black box testing, right? So black box testing is nothing but it is verifying the functionality against the requirements. Okay, just checking the functionality. We are not checking why that functionality is failing. We just checking the functionality. If it is fail, we are mark it as fail. If it is pass, we can mark it as pass. That's it. This black box testing is also called as behavioral testing, functional testing. Okay, and next one is white box testing. It is the testing of each line of code in the program. Okay, as I said that yesterday, we are not able to do the code testing in for the coding which is written by the developer. Who knows that code? There is an error, the developer knows, right? So that's why it is a testing of each line of code in the program. Developer do the white box testing, sends the software to the testing team. Once the white box is testing is done, then the developer sends software to the black box testing. Also, it is also white box testing is also called as unit testing, structural testing, glass box testing, and transparent testing. Okay, these types of different naming conventions also very important in the written exams, if there is any written exams for the testing jobs. Okay, and either there are the differences between black box and white box testing. Black box testing is done by the testers, white box is done by the developers. Black box just verifying the functionality. White box look into the source code, is nothing but the code which is written by the developer. For this, no need of coding knowledge is needed. Internal design code knowledge is not needed. But white box testing, internal code knowledge should be there to check. Okay, black box testing, no need to have knowledge of programming. Should have knowledge of program. These are the key differences between white box and black box. This question is very, very important if you are applying for the manual testing jobs. Make a stars like 5 stars or 10 star for this question. It's very, very important if you are applying for the manual testing job. And next one is, what are the characteristics of good requirement? When you say that the requirements are good which is given by the customer, on what basis you are going to tell the requirements are good? These are the characteristics. Total how many characteristics we are having? 8 characteristics we are having. The first one is unitary. It's nothing but that requires only one address. If you are going to tell login page, that requirement should discuss about only login page. It should not be there included in the registration page. That is called unitary. Complete is nothing but the requirements are fully stated. It's nothing but if you want to convey the requirement, you should convey fully, not partially. If you want to convey, you can convey with 100%. Okay, are you getting my point? Don't give the partial requirements. Consistent is nothing but the requirement does not contradict any other requirement. Okay, it's nothing but there are a requirement is there, B requirement is there. If you want to discuss about a requirement, you should mention only a requirement comments in it. Okay, don't involve the B requirements in that a requirement document. That is called consistent. Non-conjugated is nothing but the requirement is atomic, that is it does not certain conjunctions. For example, in the registration page, we are having the postal codes, right? That postal code is only applicable for India. But you didn't mention that it will be only Indian people are applicable to apply for this job. Do you have any doubt? Or else by mistake it was,
No, sir, no, sir. Sorry.
sorry. Sorry,
Sir,
any
can you
doubt?
tell slowly?
Sorry, Bharati, I didn't hear your voice. Please speak loud.
Can you tell slowly, sir?
You are asking to tell slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Are you clear about this thing, these four things?
No, sir.
Not clear. What
Yeah,
you
now
didn't understand from these three?
I cannot understand, sir. So that's why I'm asking.
You, at least you understand this white box and black box.
Yeah, I understand, sir. White box and black box.
What about others? You guys also didn't understand the things what I told here? Harish, Shekhar, Rupesh, Saujanya.
Yeah, first three we understand. Fourth one there was some disturbance, so it was
Yeah, fourth one I didn't explain till. Only I just explained first three. First three are fine, right? Apart from Bharati, everyone is fine, right? Shekhar, you please reply. Saujanya, Rupesh. By that I know how much seed I need to go. That's
Yes,
why I'm
sir.
asking. Rupesh, Shekhar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Please speak
Raju,
out.
can you repeat, please? Checker here, if you don't mind.
You didn't get 1, 2, 3 points.
No, some disturbance. Actually, I couldn't hear properly.
Please hear, guys. If I want to repeat again and again, it's not possible. If you are not understanding, then I will explain, okay, right? But if you are not hearing, it's not my problem. Please try to make sure from next concept onwards, please try to listen. Okay, if you haven't understand after
Yeah,
explaining,
sure,
I
Raju.
will tell. Okay, okay, Shekhar, get it my point?
Sure, Raju, definitely.
Okay, fine. Anyway, unitary is nothing but what is the mean by unity, Bharati? In generic meaning, what is mean by unity?
Single one.
Like that's what I said. The requirement address only single thing. Clear about the unitary?
Sir.
Please
Yes,
speak
sir.
out. Whenever I'm asking. Next one is complete. Complete is nothing but that requirement is fully stated in that document. Not partial answers. Okay, no missing information. You should give complete information regarding that requirement in the document. Clear about complete?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And consistent. Consistent is nothing but the requirement does not contradict any other requirement. Let us take an example of A requirement is there, B requirement is there. In that A requirement content, you should give only A requirement information. Don't give B requirement information in A requirement. That is called consistent. Clear?
yeah,
Clear
clear,
about
Raju.
this?
Sir.
What, sir? Clear or not?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Non-conjugated is nothing but if you want that application is registration is developed for only Indians. It's not developed for other countries like Australia, Canada. So how that people know? You should mention at the page of registration or postal code that this postal code or registration page is only applicable for particular India. Then only the people knows, right? Otherwise, the people know that it is only applicable for India. Okay, if you want to applicable for specific region, you should mention it. That is called non-conjugated. Here you can see. The postal code field must validate American and Canadian postal code should be written as two separate requirements. The postal requirement field must validate American postal codes and the postal code must validate Canadian postal code. Actually, that application is built for only American and Canadian postal codes. But you need to specify these things at the time of that page, right? Otherwise, that people not know that is only applicable for these two postal codes. Clear about the non-conjugated? We have less time. Whenever I'm
Yes.
asking,
Yes, sir.
if you haven't, I will then explain. I will explain again. After completion of class, don't ask again to explain again. That's why for every word I'm asking clear, clear, clear. What about you, Bharati? I'm telling about you only.
Yes, sir.
Clear about fourth point?
Yeah, it's clear.
Next one is traceable. Traceable is nothing but the requirement meets all or part of the business need to started by the stakeholders and authorized documented. For example, if you want to start a business, you sold your shares from your company to others. Like we are having share market, right? Like that, for example, 100 crores of business is there. You have only 50 crores. You given 50 crores, other 50 crores to the public to invest on the stocks, right? So if you want to do any application for your business, it should be traceable by the every stakeholder who invested on your company. That is called the documentation, the requirements, everything should be traceable, which can be accessible to everyone who spent money on your business. That is called traceable. Clear about the traceable?
Yes, sir.
And next one is current. Current is nothing but the requirement has not made absolute by the passage of time. For example, the requirements are different. For example, the requirements document is given today. After the 2 months, the requirements may change as per the current market, right or not? That is called current. The requirement has not been made absolute by the passage of time. If you haven't changed that requirements by the market, then we are calling it as a current. And what is unambiguous is nothing but ambiguous is nothing but confusion, is nothing but duplicate values. Unambiguous is nothing but it should not be confusion. It's nothing but whenever you are going to mention any requirement in the document, you should mention clearly. Don't contradict any two things. That is called unambiguous. Clear about the unambiguous?
Yes. Yes.
What about others? Harish, Rupesh,
Yes, sir. Clear.
It's clear.
Saujanya. Saujanya and Harish, you are not speaking, you are listening or not?
So we are listening. We are
Yes,
good
sir.
with this.
Okay, fine. Next one is mandatory. Last one is mandatory. Mandatory is nothing but the requirement represents a stakeholder defined characteristics in absence of which will result is deficiency which can't be ameliorated. Okay, what it means? Mandatory is nothing but you have to share all the requirements documents to the stakeholder as it is mandatory because they invested money on the business. Mandatory is nothing but the requirements are mandatory. For example, few requirements are mandatory, few requirements are optional. Why we are making the optional? If you want to remove that optional requirements, you can remove at the end of the project. Mandatory is nothing but these are fixed. In for example, in the registration page, we are having the first name, last name, phone number, mail, all are mandatory fields, right? So few things they will give an option. Your hobbies, your interest will be making as a non-optional. If you are interested to give, you can give it. Like that, requirements also there. That is called mandatory. Clear about the characteristics which shows about the good requirements. Have any doubt?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. And during testing, we must remember the following points. Whenever you are doing the testing, you must follow the below points. What are the below points? You must always start testing with the application with valid data. For these all points, we are going to take example of login page. In the login page, you want to check the valid data first. Valid data is nothing but you have to use correct username and correct password. If it works fine, then you can go with the negative testing like invalid, valid, valid, invalid, invalid, invalid. You can go with the other possibilities, because our main functionality is if you give the current username and if you give the valid username and valid password, it should log in. This is the main functionality and positive test case. First you have to check it this one. First don't go with negative cases. First go with positive case. If that positive case is used by the many of the users, right? Mainly, first check with that positive case. If you are okay with that, then only you can check negative. If that main heart is not okay, then you have to revert back that build to the developer again, right? So that is the main thing here we need to do. We must follow start testing with the application with valid data. In the above example is nothing but this example. Amount transfer, we can see that we have entered the valid data 100 only in the sixth test. Total how many is there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 are there. Okay. From account number to account number is given. In amount, if you give -100, it will transfer. It will not transfer. $100 X, it will not transfer. 100.50X, it will not transfer. Whatever options you are giving, it will not transfer except F. If you give the amount like this, which is present in the F option, it will transfer, right? First you have to test the valid data of F. If it works fine, then you can go with these negative scenarios. If it is not, if the F is not working, what is the use of testing negative scenarios? I think you are getting my point.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Here you can see if the valid data itself is not taken correctly, then why need to have the waste of your time checking invalid data? Okay, if the application works for valid data only, then only we can start testing of invalid data. If the application is not working for one of the invalid values, then we can continue testing for all the invalid values and then submit the test report. Okay, here we can saying total 6 things, right? Out of 6 things, this F is working fine, and we are checking the remaining 5 options also. Out of remaining 5, 4 options are not logging. It's nothing but it's working fine, but one options able to transfer the money. That case is failed. For example, this B case, whenever we give $100 X, it is money got transferred. This is the issue, right? No need to stop your testing with this that you are got issue, because the remaining cases are working fine. So we have to test all the invalid cases and we have to submit the report to the higher officials. Okay, that is this. And the next one is, in testing we do not assume or propose requirements if we have any queries. If you are not clear about any requirements, you should clear that requirement first before testing that requirement, because if you clear requirement, then only you are going to test. Otherwise it's not possible. It's not automation testing which is already scripted, it is manual testing. Okay, and few people tell that automation testing have very importance, but this manual testing is very important. Without knowing the functionality, how the automation people will automate the test cases? First the manual testing people, if the manual testing people did the work, then only the automation people will work on it. Otherwise it's not possible. Okay, and types of black box testings. The first one is functional testing. Functional testing is nothing but for all the above cases except F. It should throw an error message. If it doesn't throw, then there is a bug, right? Except F, you need to give all the options one by one. If you should get error for all the remaining options other than F. If you didn't get an error, then you need to raise the bug. That is called the functional testing. This type of testing is called as functional testing. And next black box testing is integration testing. Integration testing is nothing but first to developer design the login page, right? So after the developer design the registration page, now that registration and login page both are merged, right? So after merging that, you need to check the test cases of login page, you need to check the test cases of registration page, because both are integrated. There may be issue because the both codes are merged. You have to check any branches or issues, any click in functionalities, any text field functionalities are missing or not, you have to check it. Clear, Bharati, about this functional testing and integration testing?
Yes, sir.
Have any doubt? You can ask me if you have any doubt, not an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
It's clear.
And integration testing types are two types will be there mainly. The first one is incremental integration testing. non-incremental integration testing. Okay, top-down integration testing and bottom-up integration. Don't worry that I will shout if you guys are asked doubts. Okay, you can ask doubts if you are not clear by listening. Okay, but don't ask me to repeat again without listening. Are you guys clear what I'm telling?
Yes.
Clear, Bharat?
Yes. Yes.
Harish, Shekhar, Rupesh,
Yes, clear,
Saujanya.
sir.
By listening the class, you can ask as many times. I will explain. It's not an issue. But without listening, don't ask me again to repeat. If you are not listening, then you can go with recording session after the class. Okay. But by listening also, if you are not understanding, then you can ask me. I will repeat. I hope all clear. Bharati, Saujanya, Rupesh, Shekhar, Harish.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yes.
Okay, fine. And in integration, we are having two types, incremental and non-incremental. Again, in incremental, we are having the top-down and bottom-up. Okay, here we can see it is an example of top-down. For example, in the software company, first founder will be there. After the founder, the CEO will be there. Under the CEO, there is a delivery managers, the product delivery managers. Under the product delivery managers, we are having the senior manager, senior manager, senior manager, and team leads and senior employees and employees. This is the hierarchy of the top-down approach. Okay, if you want to test the bottom-up approach, first you need to test the engineers modules, then later you can test the manager modules, later you can test the CEO module, and later you can test the founder module. It's nothing but top-down is nothing but hierarchies came from the top to down, bottom-up is nothing but it came from bottom to up. That is called top-down and bottom-up approach. Okay, clear about the incremental testing? Incremental is nothing but the modules are incremented like this, like top to bottom, bottom to up. That is called incremental testing. And next one is end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing is nothing but entire application you need to test each and every functionality. Let us take an example of this Word document. You have to search this document file, save option, and this can't undo option, and its can't repeat option, file options, home, insert, design, page layout, reference, mail, view, everything, entire application of functionalities and points you need to cover on it. That is called end-to-end. End-to-end testing is a technique used to test whether the flow of application right from start to end. If you want to start that application, first point what will be there? Login. From login onwards, log out what are the operations the customer is going to do in that application. You have to test all those things. That is called end-to-end testing. The purpose of performing end-to-end testing is to identify system dependencies and to ensure that the data integrity is maintained between various system components and systems. Why you are doing this end-to-end testing? To ensure to identify system dependencies. What are the system dependencies for that application? Like for the system dependencies is nothing but some caches is required for application to access, right? Some VPN is required to use the other country application. All these are the dependencies of that application, right? That is called end-to-end testing. The entire application is tested for critical functionalities. Okay, the critical functionalities must be covered in end-to-end testing because the interface, database, network, and all the other functionalities should be covered in the end-to-end testing. Database is nothing but how many users are present in a network is nothing but how many people accessing that page at particular time. All these things can be tested in the end-to-end testing. And next testing is system testing. Okay, here we are done with unit testing, integration testing. Now the testing is system testing. System testing is a black box testing, is performed after the integration testing before acceptance testing. Here you can see system testing is done after integration before acceptance. This is the system testing process. This flow will be there. This is the environment cycle for the test system testing. It's nothing but first you need to test set the environment setup. Environment setup is nothing but total we are having three environments mainly in any company. The first one is test environment, second one is sales environment, and third one is production environment. But few companies how it looks like is it will be in the test environment. pre-live, live, like that. They are using different terms. The thing what you need to remember is total 3 environments are there. The testing people will test on the test environment, and later if everything is okay, then the regression and all these things can be tested in the stage. Is nothing but pre-production, is nothing but pre-live. Okay, once there is no issues on, all the issues got fixed in the stage environment, it will be move on to the live, that is called production environment. We have to remember how many environments are there.
3.
What are they?
Testing level and pre and live.
In which environment the tester will involve?
First one.
No, total 3 environments the tester will involve. Test environment is nothing but whenever the individual functionalities are testing, the tester will test that functionalities in the test environment. Once the modules are merged, we are going to test all the application in that stage environment. Once that no issues are involved in the stage, you send that product into the live. After sending the product into the live also, you are going to test in live environment also. That is called production testing. Clear?
Yes.
And this is the system testing process is performed in the following step. The first one is test environment setup and create test case. Test environment setup is, that's what I said, test environment, stage, production, whatever environment we are using, we are keeping here. And next one is create test case. Generate test case for the testing process. We have to generate the test cases. And next one is generate the test data that is to be tested. Is nothing but, let us take the test cases, login with valid username and valid password. For that we need test data, the user which is already created, right? That is called test data. And execute test case. By giving the inputs we are going to test, but I am not able to log in. At that time you have to report the defects, right? You have to clear till here. If the test case is not executed well, we have to report the defect or bug. That is called defect reporting. I hope you all guys are clear till here. Next one is regression testing. Once the defect got fixed, it will be matched to the existing application. At that time, you have to do the regression testing to the entire application. Is there any effects by merging the fixes happen? That is called regression testing. If it's happen, you can log the defects and you can retest the defects again. This is the system testing process. Okay, this is cycle. You can see setup test environment, generate test cases, generate testing data, execute test cases, defect reporting, regression testing, log defects and retest. This is the flow of the cycle happened by the system testing process. Okay, very important guys. They will ask what is meant by system testing. Okay, go through these things. Next one is usability testing. It is also known as user experience testing. Is a testing method for measuring how easy and user friendly a software is. What is meant by usability testing? What is meant by usability testing?
The end user testing experience, how the software is
Usability
friendly
testing
to
is
him.
nothing but, now you are seeing this Word document. All the options are aligned in the proper way. That's why you are seeing clearly, right? If these alignments are not aligned properly, then we are not able to see impressed on this application, right? That's what he's telling here. Is also user experience, is nothing but how that user experience the application. That is called user experience testing. And next one is uh, compatibility testing. Compatibility testing is nothing but we are checking all the aspects, whether the Chrome browser is suitable for this, whether the Firefox is suitable for this, whether all the hardware requirements like my RAM, ROM and all these things fine to run the application. And mobile devices, operating system, Windows or Linux or Mac, all the OS are fine. We are going to check the compatibility testing. That is called compatibility testing. Till now we see compatibility testing, user testing is nothing but acceptance testing and system testing, regression testing, functional testing, integration testing. All these 6 things are calling it as a black box testing. Now we are coming to the white box testing. Okay, just to know I'm explaining the white box testing because you are not doing any work on the white box testing, but the interviewer may ask what are the testing types available in the white box testing. What are they? Path testing, condition testing, loop testing, from memory point of view testing. For example, there is a Java code. If you guys already know any Java or C program, you will get it. First, the main function is there. Within that main function, there will be a two function: void function one, void function two. Again, the void function one, there will be two functions: function three, function four. Again, the function four, we are having function five, function six. Again, function six, we are having function eight, function nine. Okay, clear? Here you have to check the path from main to core. This is a path. You may check, you may go to this path: function 13, function 145, function 1468, function 1469. In this path you are going to check. Flow graph means represent a flow of the program. It represents the flow of the program. You are checking the path of the program, whether the path is written correctly or not. That is called path. Condition testing is nothing but you are checking the conditions, like if else statements. You guys already learn. If not, we can learn in the Java concepts in the automation testing. And loop concepts also same. We are here we are checking the branching wise. If you are checking wise condition wise, then it is called condition testing. If you are checking with the loop, is nothing but for loop. Set of conditions will be passed. That is called loop testing. From memory point of view, how much memory it takes to execute the particular program. This is called white box testing. Clear about these things? Have any doubt? Bharati, Harish, Shekhar, Rupesh, Saujanya.
Yeah, high level it is clear, Raj.
Okay, this is all about high level only.
Yeah,
High
yeah,
level
yeah,
is
yeah.
they will ask these things only. In depth, nothing will be there on the white box testing and all these things. Okay, you should know what is the difference between white box and black box, right? This is a manual testing, nothing more to explain other than this. If you are into the automation testing, we will practically execute the codes and will show it. Clear what I'm telling?
Yes, yes, Raj.
Okay. How many types of testings are there? Can anyone tell? How many types of testings are mainly there?
Two types of testing. White body testing.
Yes, what are they?
White body testing and black body testing.
Okay. List any two testings in the white box and two testings in the black box. Any two.
White box testing, functional testing, and integration testing.
Okay. Is it
That
correct?
is
Who
black
said this?
box. Is
Who
wrong,
said
sir.
this? White box testing.
No, black box testing.
Okay. White box testing is nothing but path, loop,
Path,
condition.
condition testing, loop testing.
Okay. And what is the difference between static testing and dynamic testing? Okay, I missed this topic. It's a line. After this verification techniques, we are directly go with white box testing methods. Static testing and dynamic testing is no need to worry about that. Static is testing is nothing but QA. Dynamic testing is nothing but QC. What is the difference between QA and QC?
Yeah, QC focuses on identifying the defects. So, therefore,
Yes, that's what here telling. Dynamic testing is
yeah, yeah,
nothing but
same.
QC, focuses on error detection. Static testing is focuses on defect prevention. Clear? Clear? Any doubts on today class?
Clear, Raj.
Okay. If you are clear, I'm good to close the session for today. I thought that we'll send this document tomorrow, but if I send it by today, you will get some reference through the material, right? You can go through the material once. The class number 5, I think, right today 4. This is the class number 4, right? So you can go through class 4. What are the concepts I teach till now? Okay,
Yeah, okay, Raj. This
clear.
helps.
Once go through
Yeah.
till class 4, don't go with class 5. I will explain. Don't be hurry. We are having the time. Just go through the class 4 and see the concepts and by heart the concepts which are required because it will help you at the time of interview. Okay. Okay, fine. Then I'm good to close the session. Thank you for joining. We'll meet you all again tomorrow at same time. Thank you all.